So you're selling a watch and you're wondering, how do I sell this watch safely without getting robbed or stolen funds or chargeback or whatever the case may be. You're wondering how to sell this watch safely. So basically, this is going to be a quick video, but there's two things we need to go over. The first is face-to-face sales, and the second is going to be online sales. Ignore that thumbs up. But anyway, those are the two things. So it's face-to-face and online. Let's start with face-to-face. You probably listed your watch on Facebook Marketplace, maybe Craigslist if you're old school, whatnot, or whatever platform you decided to list it on. You're meeting someone face to face, and now you need to go meet this person, and you want to make sure, number one, you're not going to get robbed, and number two, you want to make sure that you're going to be safe. So usually what us watch traders do, we try not to do in-person deals. We try to do everything via shipping. But if you're going to meet someone face to face, you want to meet them in a public place and not just in the parking lot or something like that. You want to be in the place. So I personally like to meet people either in a bank because there's a lot of cameras and security, or I like to meet them at a coffee shop like a Starbucks or something like that. Whatever you prefer is fine. Now, sometimes the buyer will request to meet you at a AD to verify the watch's authenticity. Most ADs will not allow you to do this. They're trying to sell their own stuff, not your stuff. They're not going to verify if the watch is genuine or not for the person buying it. That's their job to know if the watch is real or fake, and it's your job to be a respectful human being and just a good person overall and sell an authentic watch. So make sure you meet them in a public place. Now, when it comes to payments, this is where the real scamming begins on the buyer's side. Is they could bring fake bills, which is why I like to meet at a bank. So then you could deposit it and make sure right away that nothing's fake. They can also pay you via PayPal and file a chargeback on their card saying that they didn't get the item or they don't know what it is or whatever the case may be. So the best way to do it is going to be Venmo or Zelle or PayPal friends and family. Basically, you don't want to give them the opportunity to take the money back after they walk out the door. Now, obviously, cash is fantastic. If you could get cash, great. But again, if you're going to get cash, meet them at a bank, verify that the cash is real, and there's no fake bills in there, because it's happened to me before. I've gotten fake bills. I sold a Speedmaster probably about 6 years ago, and I don't remember the exact amount I sold it for, but let's, for argument's sake, I sold it for $3,000, and there was $500 worth of fake bills. There was $2,500 of real bills, $500 worth of fake bills. And what I actually ended up doing in that situation is I called the guy out on Facebook, and I said, I'm going to have to report you to the police, because I had his Facebook profile. It was a real profile. And he was so scared that he just Venmoed me the $500, and that was fine. He obviously knew that the bills were fake, like, let's be real. But, make sure the bills are real. So that's a lesson learned. And if they want to pay via PayPal, that's fine, but make sure it's friends and family, not goods and services, because they do have the opportunity to file a chargeback, and that is not what you want to do. Now let's talk about online sales. This is where things get pretty dicey. For those that don't know, my day job is in credit card processing. I help businesses accept credit cards. So if anybody's qualified to speak about this topic, it's going to be me. So when you sell a watch to somebody, especially an expensive watch, number one, when you're shipping it, make sure you put insurance on that package, and not for the value that you paid, for the value that you sold the watch for. Because that package, I see this all the time. I see stolen packages all the time. I've even seen people claim they haven't got the package, but they did. So make sure you put insurance on that package. That's number one. Number two, when you are packing the box, make sure you film yourself packing the box, sealing it, and putting the label on the seal so that when you drop it off at the post office, God forbid they say the box was open, stolen, whatever, you have video evidence that you put the watch in there and you wrapped it well. People also claim the watch broke during shipping or whatever, so make sure you wrap it well and make sure you get that all on video. It's very, very important. Also, what you want to do is if you sold it on eBay and whatnot, you're going to want to make sure you take a lot of pictures. I know that goes hand in hand with video, but make sure you take pictures as well. The problem with eBay and selling something with PayPal and all that is, again, this going back to my credit card background, the ability for the client to file a chargeback. So what ends up happening during a chargeback is it's actually between the issuing bank, so the cardholder's bank, whoever they got it from, and you, the merchant, the seller. So basically what happens is the credit card processor doesn't really get involved. We just provide information that the chargeback occurred, but essentially is you're going to be fighting their card carrier. So if they use an American Express, you're going to be fighting American Express on this. You need all the proof you have that you gave them the watch and it was in working condition and this and that, the other, the whole nine. And make sure you have your insurance in case they lie and say it's stolen, or maybe it did get stolen. Make sure you have your insurance. So protect yourself. That is the most important thing when selling a watch. I don't care if it's a $100 watch or a $50,000 watch. Protect your business. Protect yourself. If you're not a business, still protect yourself. The thing when it comes to a chargeback is the card carrier is almost always, even if you have some evidence, they're going to almost always side with the card carrier and not you, the merchant, because they want to get paid. And if they side with you, the merchant, and not the card carrier may say, well, fuck this, I'm not going to pay my bill. So, contrary to belief, if that happens, and you do lose a chargeback, especially for a high dollar amount, the next step is you are going to have to go to court and you're going to have to fight this person to make sure you get paid. This happens all the time. I service a lot of medical practices and a lot of patients are like, oh, they didn't do the surgery that they said, or this, or my crown fell out or whatever, and they don't want to pay. Well, legally they do have to pay, and if they win that chargeback, you're going to have to take them to court. So be prepared for that. Now, this isn't meant to scare you. I've sold many, many watches over the years, and I've never really had a big issue. I've always gotten paid. I've never had a crazy issue. So this is if you're dealing with someone that's difficult. And that goes to my last tip of this video. If somebody's acting difficult and they're nickeling and diming you and this and that before you even ship the watch, and they're arguing with you about every detail, that's a red flag. And you should take that pretty seriously and make sure that they Zelle you or PayPal friends and family or Venmo you, because then they can't get that money back. And that's very important. Now, if you're doing it via eBay is easy to deal with. They have policies where if you prove yourself innocent, they'll typically side with you as the merchant. I mean, that happens all the time. Literally a couple years ago, I bought a pair of shoes on eBay that eBay verified as authentic. And this is wild. One shoe was authentic. The other shoe was a fake. And the shoe with the tag on it was authentic. And the shoe that didn't have the tag was the fake. How the seller got away with that, crazy, because the shoes are whatever. I don't need to get into that. But anyway, you as the seller, I proved to eBay the shoes were fake, and they still sided with the seller, which was wild. So you as the seller, if you're selling on eBay, are pretty protected. Now, Chrono 24, you're also pretty protected on there. They have a like a bank account where they store the funds until everything is kosher and settled and all that. So I would say Corona 24 is another safe site you could use. But anyway, I just wanted to make sure you know how to safely sell a watch in person and how to safely sell a watch online. This isn't meant to scare you. It's just meant so that you know what to expect when selling a watch in those situations. But anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. It really helps the channel. And if you have any additional tips that I didn't mention, feel free to write it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. But until next time, thank you for watching. Peace.